Now, as you can see, it's not going well with the building, with the Uikashte. This is the new castle of Dornafalva, as it's called in my book. The house of the main character in the book, Erzsébet T, a countess. She spent her whole youth here, and it was paradise. This was the new castle. This was actually where they lived. There, that side is the old castle. It's even worse condition, far worse. But there the walls were so thick that even in the summer the house was too cold to live in. So this was the practical part. They called it the new castle, although it was more than 200 years old. What gives an idea of the time in these families. Here in the corner, this room was the room of Nikolai, the pet bear, the bear that they keep at house. And the rooms were interconnected, and Erzsébet would put on a gramophone on loud top volume, and together with her brother dance from room to room all around. Claimed that they won always all dance competition. Now, as you can see, the roof starts to collapse, so it will soon be done with this house. I think it is really a shame and sad. Even the unicorns here, the family weapon, are recently taken away. Somebody tried to steal them. It is a huge shame on the people that nobody takes care of this. Erzsébet told me how it was the last time that she came here. The last time I went to Dornafalva was on the 4th of September 1944. I walked home from the station with a small suitcase. There was only a very narrow path up the hill to Dornafalva. I threw my suitcase and sandals into a little copse. I knew this would be the last walk. I thought I'd never walked this way before. I lay down. 4 eagles were turning circles in the sky. It was very peaceful. I picked up my suitcase and sandals and walked on. Eventually I found Father in his museum. It was a museum of stuffed birds. I said, "I have to go." He answered, "I have to stay." In the stables, I washed my hands and plunged my head into the water. I cried for a long time with my face in the water trough in the abandoned stables. The Germans had taken all the horses and ponies. The Russians were perhaps 20 kilometers away. I went with Father to the farm up on the hill there. The cattle was there. We had Dutch piebald cows, Simmentals, sheep, pigs and chickens. Father told the farmer to release all the animals. The cows were on chains. The farmer and his laborer freed the animals. Outside their stalls, they instinctively walked over to Father and stood around him. He had to shout and wave his arms about to chase them into the forest and hills. He didn't want them to fall into the hands of the Russians and be slaughtered in their stalls. And there's the stone bridge that leads across the dry moat full of empty bottles, rubbish bags and discarded plastic pots. The 2 life-size statues from Erzsébet's family coats of arms stands on either side of the bridge, unicorns. The view is magnificent. Through a broad, lazy valley flows the Samos, beneath distant hills. The elderly lady, to whom I've become so attached, stands next to me. I promised Father I'd make sure Dornafalva wasn't lost, she says. She can't die until she fulfilled that promise. And then she continues. I ran to the Samos, to the river, and threw off my sandals. There was a little bathing place there, and I washed the buffalo, wiping their gleaming black backs. Then I went to the family church and stood among the gravestones. I laid flowers and lit candles. I knew I'd never see it again. Never bring any more flowers for my ancestors. Then I said farewell to Father. He'd arranged for a horse, I don't know how, and a small cart. Food, ham and bread. The cart took me away. I don't remember anything of the journey. And indeed, she never ever could come back to this place till after the fall of the wall. And she could not see her father. When he was ill in hospital, dying, she was not allowed to come into Romania to say farewell.